Hey guys, what's up? Back with another video, and today I'm going to do a review of this DVD right here. We have the TNA Doomsday, the Best of Abyss DVD. This came out in 2007. I'm going to say the mid-2007, because there is one of the chapters on here features one of the stories of Abyss that goes all the way up until his return in June of 2007. But we'll get onto that in a minute, so that's why I take it this DVD was released in 2007. I said 2007 a lot there. I hope you're not taking shots every time I say 2007. Otherwise, I will continue to say, if you're drinking water, that is. Anyway, there's the spine right there, Doomsday Best of Abyss. There's the thing on the back right there. We've got the matches, we've got some bonus features, and we have some other stuff too. So let's get on with this, shall we? We're gonna. So basically cut it up into 3 parts. We have got the chapters. We got 3 chapters. We got the story chapter. We got the matches chapter, and of course we have the bonus chapter. So we're going to kick off with the story chapter of Abyss. This is a deep dive into the basically segments of Impact back to back that covers the entire story from November 2006 all the way up until June of 2007. With Abyss and his storyline revealing his secret past that he has. It starts out with Christian Cage and Tomko wanting a TNA World Heavyweight title shot for Christian Cage. So apparently it's revealed that Abyss has a secret and Tomko knows about that secret. Something to do with Abyss and Tomko met somewhere in Abyss's past, and Abyss did a naughty thing. Makes it sound like Abyss and Tomko are lovers, in my opinion, when I first heard it. Which is a very disturbing image of big, baldy Tomko and this cuddly teddy bear, the monster Abyss, being lovers. But hey, not against it. I've heard Vince Russo have wacky ideas, but this is this is something. But anyway, back to the serious point. So then Sting gets involved because he wants his rematch for the NWA World Championship. It ends up being, Sting tries to find out what the secret is also, and it leads to, the segments go along, for trying to find out what the thing is. He kidnaps James Mitchell at one point, tries to get the secret out of him. He won't reveal anything, so he goes and finds out the secret for himself, and in doing so, he incurs the wrath of Abyss. So the first secret that Abyss had was that he went to prison for 6 years for shooting his father 3 times in the back. Yes, this was a storyline back in 2007 from the genius mind of Vince Russo to give Abyss a back character, which was Abyss spent time in prison for shooting his father 3 times in the back, but his father survived. So anyway, Abyss would Sting would feel the wrath of Abyss. That would lead to a prison yard match against all odds. They showed you a little bit of that with the ending where Sting was able to get the win and lock Abyss in the cage, and then tried to kill the devil called James Mitchell. Then that moved us on to Abyss and Sting teaming up together, like reuniting before Lockdown 2007. And then James Mitchell comes back out. It makes his big gigantic return, and he brings this mysterious woman that ends up being Abyss's mother. So then the story turns even more weird, that there's more to the secret rather than Abyss. So Abyss went to prison for shooting his father allegedly, but it was actually his mother that did it. But Abyss took the frame, basically Abyss took the what's the word I can't think of. He basically took the rap for it. Basically, he basically took the fingerprints off, and it's a very weird story. I feel like I'm doing like a crime drama or something. But James Mitchell basically was blackmailing Abyss. The second time in this video that Abyss was being blackmailed into doing something that he didn't want to do. James Mitchell, so it eventually leads to Abyss having enough of James Mitchell on the Impact after Lockdown in 2007. Abyss teams up with Christian Cage. He loses the tag team title match to Team 3D with teaming up with Christian Cage. And then Team K he eventually snaps, gives James Mitchell the Black Hole Slam, turning babyface, but then Christian Cage's lot come out. Team Cage, AJ Styles, Christian Cage, Tomko and Scott Steiner all beat up Abyss with chairs, and barbed wire baseball bat, slicing his arm open, slicing his head open, and putting Abyss on the shelf for a couple of months. 2 months later, he does return in the King of the Mountain qualifying match on the Impact before Slammiversary in June 2007, where he faces Christian Cage in a qualifying match. That ends in a DQ because Abyss hits a Christian with a chair, and that, of course, where the story portion of the Abyss DVD ends with on the Go Home show for Slammiversary 2007. So yeah, I thought that part of the chapter was very nice. I didn't, I didn't think that they would actually. I just thought this was going to be a match compilation, not a. So I'm kind of intrigued that they actually put some story in there as a backstory of Abyss, no matter if it was wacky or not. The backstory, the other story, there was more to the secret that wasn't on this DVD that did get revealed in 2008, where James Mitchell did reveal himself as the father of Abyss, and that would lead to Judas Messias coming in. But that's for 2008. But yeah, that was a fun part. That was a fun chapter. Hope you stayed with me and all that. I thought it was very interesting. Now we're on part 2, which is the matches and the match combinations, the match selections, I should say, are pretty interesting. I did notice that Abyss lost almost every single one of them, apart from one, which was the very last one. So the matches are, we have Abyss versus Jeff Hardy from Destination X 2005 in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Abyss versus AJ Styles from Lockdown 2005, which was one of my favourite matches from that 2005 era, apart from the obvious three-way with Joe, AJ, and Daniels. This is one of the matches I think about when it comes to TNA in 2005. Awesome match between AJ and Abyss from Lockdown. The Jeff Hardy match I thought was okay. I thought it was a good starter, a good starter from Destination X. Then we have the Bound for Glory Monsters Ball. You gotta have a Monsters Ball on here. It's the Monster Abyss, for fuck's sake. So it's Rhino versus Sabu. Rest in peace, Sabu, by the way. He passed away. I found out early this evening that Sabu had passed away. Unfortunate to hear. Anyway, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I just need to carry on with the video. Sabu versus Jeff Hardy versus Rhino. Monsters Ball with Abyss. Yeah, that was a fantastic, pretty cool matchup. I preferred it than the other Bout Monsters Ball that's on here, which is the 2006 version with Brother Runt, Raven, and Samoa Joe and Abyss, and from Bound for Glory 2006. I preferred the 2005 version more than the 2006 Monsters Ball because it had less Jake the Snake Roberts in the 2005 one. And Samoa Joe felt like he was just thrown in there to give Samoa Joe something to do at the Bound for Glory 2006 one. Anyway, also we have the Barbed Wire Massacre match with Sabu, which makes a lot of sense because that's the match that kind of Abyss is famous for, with him and Sabu putting on a clinic in the Barbed Wire Massacre, the first ever TNA Barbed Wire Massacre, the no ropes barbed wire match that has become famous in TNA. Even did one a couple of weeks ago with Sami Callihan and what's his name, Mance Warner. So pretty cool stuff right there. Rhino versus Abyss from Falls Count Anywhere match from Against All Odds 2006, where Abyss goes through the finisher is a awesome gore off the stands through a stack of tables, which was fantastic to see. Fantastic match right there. We had the Christian Cage Lockdown 2006 match for the NWA World Championship. Great match. I did feel like the match was a little bit of a copy and paste from the AJ Styles match the year before, but with Christian in it this time. Some similarities between the two, but it was still an excellent matchup. If you're going to copy from a great match, you might as well copy from that match. So not downgrading it whatsoever. We have the aforementioned Monsters Ball 3 from 2006 Bound for Glory with Brother Runt, Raven, and Samoa Joe. I didn't really like that match too much. It was too much focus on Jake the Snake Roberts, who wasn't really healthy back then. He didn't look healthy. He looked like he was in his dark period at the time. So I wasn't really a big fan of that one. And then finally, the last match on this DVD, we have Sting versus Abyss from Genesis 2006, where Abyss wins the NWA World Championship, and the only match that Abyss wins on this DVD. I actually like that. I actually like the fact that it's on here. And it's a shame that it's his only NWA World Heavyweight Championship in 16 years. Because Abyss was there for 2003. As the character Abyss, he was there from June 2003 to January or sometime in 2019. So a 16-year career. I think Abyss is due for a new TNA DVD. I mean, you know, the Essential Collection, you can do like a 3 or 4 disc set right there for TNA. You know, come on, if you can do a fucking Eli Drake and Drew Galloway, who doesn't really represent TNA that much, you can do a fucking set on this guy right here. Anyway, that's my ranting part over. Yeah, the match selection I thought was really good. You know, it really showcases some of Abyss's hardcore matches, the most famous hardcore matches from the years of 2005 to 2007, 2006, sorry, the end of 2006, may I say. It's some of these timelines are very mixed up because the story ends in 2007 and then the matches end in 2006. So I really should have watched the matches first, then the stories, if that makes any sense. And then finally we finish off with some bonus, chapter 3, which is the bonus material. We got a Abyss, what does that say? I can't even read my own handwriting. We have an Abyss profile video, which is basically the same video package that they showed during the Abyss Sting match at Genesis. Basically, like saying he's the monster Abyss. You know, his brutality is to give pain to others and blah blah blah. You know, all that eerie monster stuff that they always say. Being led to the ring by the evil James Mitchell. You know, it's pretty cool. We have the Abyss. This is a pretty fun one if you're interested in watching the Christian Cage match. We have the Abyss invades Christian Cage's house segment, which was fantastic. I really enjoyed that one. It's a really good extra bonus material to get you excited if you want to watch that before watching the Christian match to see why the feud was so personal going into Lockdown 2006. We have rare photos from Abyss's childhood with eerie music. I did find this very eerie. It was supposed to be this nice occasion with Abyss's, look how he looked as a baby, and look how he looked when he was 5 years old, and, you know, going to church and all that stuff. But it had this creepy, weird, eerie music, and, like, Bob Wire. Like, I guess it's Abyss's DVD, and it wasn't really a well-known character. He was still the dark, mysterious Abyss at the time, so it kind of makes sense, but, yeah, look at it in 2025 eyes, it's kind of a bit weird. And then finally, after that one, we had a slideshow photo gallery of Abyss's action shots, like, you know, from matches, like against Rhino, and some shots where he's doing his Abyss taunts and all that stuff. So pretty cool stuff right there. And then we have a bonus match. We have the debut of Abyss on his debut segment in June 2003, where he attacks Eric Watts. And then we have a never before seen match. I didn't catch the guy's first name, but his name is Daniels. So it's a handicap match that was never televised on TV. One of his early 2003 matches from June 2003. It's Abyss in a handicap match against Delirious and Daniels. I only got his first name. I didn't get what his other name was. It wasn't Christopher Daniels. He didn't have a bald head. He had at least some hair, but he didn't have a bald head. So yeah, it was Delirious and someone called Daniels, but I didn't get his second name. The commentators were really grateful on that one, and he didn't give me a name. A name, or, you know, a name when the name comes up across the bottom of the screen, tell me who the people are. But yeah, great stuff right there. 10 out of 10 DVD. If you're a big fan of Abyss, I don't really know why I should be recommending you this DVD, because you probably would have already had it if you were collecting DVDs back in 2007. If you're a big Abyss fan, but if you didn't know this was released, yes, this is released in 2007, and it was awesome. I really had a fun time watching it. Abyss is a legend, and hopefully, as I said during the matches portion, hopefully he does get another TNA DVD, because he fucking deserves it with his fucking career. 3 or 4 disc set, but I have a feeling that I'm probably not going to get that. Either that or James, none of that or James Storm. 2 guys who do deserve essential collection DVDs, but I don't think they're going to get it. So I'm not going to waste my breath, because TNA, I've got more priorities to think about than poor old me. Anyway, that's going to be it now, guys. I'm going to give this DVD a 10 out of 10. Thank you, Beatdown Bunny, for suggesting this. Appreciate it as always. And until next time, guys, I'm going to give you a black hole slam. Black hole slam that like button. Subscribe if you want to. I'm not going to force you. Abyss might, but I'm not going to. And until next time, I'll see you next time, and I'm out. Woo!